Good evening. Thank you so much for making the time for this show at our radio. We continue with programming TV. Thank you for always making the time. We're live on Family TV, also live on Family Radio. And today I'm in studio with a friend, so be prepared to have a good time. And we are talking about employee loyalty. How do you make sure that when you hire somebody to do a certain job, that you actually keep them? Because research has shown that for any employee to break even on the investment you've actually given to them, which means resources, how much you pay them, that at its best takes 2 years. But then the former generation, or what we call the boomers, they'd work for what, 20, 30 years. Our grandfathers worked for 30 years. Then millennials came. Inasemekana kuna kashida. Hi, Media.
Hi.
Her name is Miriam Sambugi, life coach. Karibu sana. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you,
It's
too.
been a while, eh?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
But thanks for having me.
Karibu.
Asante.
So now let me ask, and we were talking off air, and you told me your dad worked for the same company for as long as. Why do you think they stayed loyal to one company?
I think times were different. For one, I think life was so systematic. You went to school, then you got employment, then you went into family life, and you know things seemed to be so well calculated. And then the dreams weren't too big, I would say.
Okay.
Careers were not many. And so you went to school, then went to college, you were going to be a teacher, and then you were posted to a school, and you were there.
Okay.
You had reached your apex. If you wanted to be a doctor, then you went. Actually, there were not many doctors then. I think many people went for nursing. And so when you went to school, then you went to college, nursing, to hospital, and you were there. And really, then people didn't have so much complications in life.
Okay.
I think life has become so complex, too many needs, too many requirements, and so people keep constantly wanting to feel fulfilled, wanting to reach their goals, and so as long as they don't have that, then they'll keep feeling you know, unfulfilled.
So why do you think the younger workforce is so keen on how a job makes them feel? Because there's an article that was done that mentioned that millennials are now driving towards what impact am I making with my job? How are the companies? How do they feel about the earth? I'm like, we are so wholesome, eh? We want to save the world.
Yeah.
And so the boomers are having a problem, not understanding. So you check in and do your job. So why do you think there's that disparity?
I think it starts from so many factors are coming in. They could be social, economical, they could be anything. However, a few things are in point. That many young people are actually living, coming from wrong courses. So you go to school, you took a course, and sorry to say, sometimes they don't even understand what the course is about, except for the big names, you know? And if you watch, every other year there's a trending course where every bright student feels that they want to do so that they are with it. But you see, life is not about being with it. It's about creating your space. And so if you pick a wrong course, you go through the course, you finish, and then realize your energies are not there.
Okay.
And that's why these days you'll see somebody going for a a medical course, and then ends up as an artist. Or
I actually
anything
know
else.
one of our best writers in this country studied, I believe it was clinical something. Today he's paid to write. That is all he does.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so there's that confusion where you take the wrong course leading up to...
It could be that you took the wrong course.
Okay.
However, sometimes it's lack of goals, lack of vision. You really don't know what you want to do, but you're driven by your marks, your grades in school.
Okay.
And so you're just there. And because people said you passed and you qualified for medical course or whatever else, and then you realize that this person doesn't have a vision. They don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
And that can really work against you. Because when you start working, you don't even know where to start. You don't even know what you want to achieve. that can be quite a big problem.
Okay.
And then, of course, there are other issues of economic pressures, you know. So you're working, but it's not feeding you. It's not doing much for you.
Ah, I hear you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not doing much for you. And because many of the millennials, sorry to say, look at the pay. They look at what it's giving. But I would want to say that the best thing you could do is actually give, and you get it in turn.
Okay.
Because it's when you have the spirit of giving, then you give it your all. And when you give your all, you obviously have passion for what you're doing. You have production at your highest. You know, you're at your peak all the time. And when your employer is pleased with the way you're performing,
yes,
then, of course, you realize everything else that you wanted to do.
Okay.
Yes.
There's also an assumption, and these were researchers who said that young people saw their parents, so in the US and here, trickled down to here as well. So we saw our parents being laid off. We saw our parents being let go. And so there was a thing that sort of awoke them and thought, okay, so even the economy is not loyal to us. So what you do is that you stay at the job where you're well paid to at least make sure you can secure your job. Though there's nothing like job security if you think about it. So do you think that's the case as well? They saw their parents go through financial distress, so they're thinking there's no loyalty at all.
Well, you could say so. There could be some truth in that. Although I would like, it probably will take us a little bit out of the topic today.
Okay.
However, the young people these days think that the only way to make it in life is when you get employed. Okay? So looking at what has happened before and then realizing that they're not even getting that job. You know, sometimes people will say, I'd rather have it and get laid off, but in my history, there'll be that part that I got employed.
Yes.
So there are so many things that happen to these young people. They see what is happening, but they still yearn to get employment. The question is, when you finally get that employment, what do you do with it?
Okay.
Because how you perform, how you receive that job, how you maintain and sustain yourself in that job, that's what matters.
Okay.
Yes, and it comes with lots of things, you know. It comes with passion, it comes with hard work, it comes with commitment, it comes with devotion, it comes to respect, you know, so many adjectives I could use.
Yes.
But all this complete you in the area of your performance at work and the kind of loyalty that you give. Because remember, loyalty is really about being faithful, being committed.
Okay.
You know? So if you don't do that, then no one is willing to take you.
Okay.
Yes.
I hear you. So what do you think are some of the benefits of being loyal to what you're doing? Being, you know, staying at one place and building your career up, say, 5-10 years? You
know, I would actually ask you, you know, what kind of an employee would you want? What kind of a servant? And I keep asking people, especially in leadership trainings, I ask them, what kind of a servant do you want to have? And they'll use all sorts of words. I want a loyal one. I want an understanding one. And then I ask them, so what does that make you feel about this person who has all these qualities? And they say, this is the person that I would treasure.
Okay.
So, of course, when you are loyal, there is a lot of acceptance from your employer.
Okay.
Number two, they will invest in you.
Okay. In
so many ways, you know, because they don't want to let you go. And that investment comes with training, you know. Yes. It comes with, you know, some rewards. You're given some incentives to keep you, you know. And of course, you're given more tasks. And I'd like the millennials especially to know that when they are given responsibilities beyond what they have been employed to do, it is not because this employer wants to overload them. And that's something I've had a lot. Because they'll keep constantly complaining. This boss gives us so much work. It doesn't matter how much you do, but they'll always give you more. And it's perfect. Actually, when they're not giving you responsibilities, you have every cause to worry. But when your employer, when your boss constantly gives you other responsibilities, then it means they have seen a quality in you. It means they have seen some commitment. It means they have seen extra skills. And I'm emphasizing on that. Extra skills. Because again,
you're saying it like Medrin.
Yes.
Extra skills.
Oh, yes. Because you're employed, for instance, as a teacher. And you're a Kiswahili teacher, for example, a language teacher. And because you are employed to teach those 2 subjects or whatever number of subjects, you feel like being asked to go out and play with the kids during PE. That is belittling you, or it could be overloading you or giving you responsibilities that you feel should be done by other people, and etc. But the thing is, these are people who have seen other qualities in you.
Okay.
They have seen that you can cope very well with children. That's a good skill. They have seen that you have a sporty kind of skill that is useful for the school. Okay. And many other things that they could have seen in you. They could have seen some pleasant character in you. They could see that you're a loving person, caring person. Those are not skills you get with everyone. Okay. So when you're given those responsibilities, it's because there's something extra. Embrace them. When you do that, it proves that you're a loyal person because you're not complaining, you're embracing, you're respecting, you're obedient, you know, and all this sum up to being loyal. So you get loyal, they build you. Okay. They reward you. Yes.
You know, I'm thinking of CEOs who, they say, you know, I came in at entry level, I did sales, then I was promoted to a head of department, then kidogo, senior partner. Then when they're turning 40, they're CEOs. You know? Yeah. Because are we job hopping as much as millennials? Sorry? Are we hopping into jobs very quickly as millennials from experience?
Absolutely. And I can say that with confidence because I've spoken to many young people. And one of the saddest things is when they imagine that they are going to come from school and sit behind a desk to be called manager, CEO, supervisor, and you're wondering, honestly, who are you going to supervise? What are you going to supervise? You know? Yeah. The best thing and the best way to grow is actually to start off from the bottom. And like I love it even in leadership, when leaders start from, you know, being a chairman somewhere. Because you get to build your skills, the people person skills, you build on to other relationship skills, you build on other managerial skills, and with all this growth, when you're taken up there, you will never regret it. It will be so easy for you, you know? Okay. And I'm proud to be one such person. You know,
where did you start from?
I started as a high school teacher.
What?
Yes, Medrin.
Okay.
I was a high school teacher. But then at some point I needed growth. Okay. And so I left, but I still work with people. I still teach. I do everything I do is about people. And is about giving skills, empowering people. But can I tell you that after my teaching course, the first question that even my husband was asking me about, so you have left the classroom, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to look for something. But what is something? You know? And along the way, to cut the whole story short, is that I got myself where I am through volunteership. And I'll forever be grateful to my former director. Okay. Because he gave me that opportunity. I volunteered. And when I volunteered, I had never been in the NGO world before. But I endured, and I took up, I realized my gift was with people. And I started working in the communities, believe you me, in the slums. And I would walk through those places, empowering the women in the slums. I believe that it is through that short period of volunteership that my director saw the skills that I had. Those skills have been built on slowly, and over the years, I'll not call myself an expert, but I can tell you that I have grown. He would give me opportunities to represent the organization, and those are things that young people don't want to take up. You know, they look at what they are going to get in turn. I went, represented, did works that did not pay back, but it paid back in the end because I got opportunities that I never thought I could ever get. Today, the kind of work that I do, you'd think that I went to, I don't know what university.
Hey, my dear, you're in the big league. You are in the big league, my friend.
No, I built on slowly and then wanting to learn and going back to school.
Okay.
Really. And you don't even need to go back to school in terms of university or colleges. Just go and take short courses.
Okay.
Go for workshops. Go for seminars. Anything that can give you an extra skill.
Do it.
Do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell you, today's discussion, after we are done, I'm trying to make sure that, one, you understand whether where you're at is a place you can be loyal, and if that's not the case, what do you do about it? But for now, we'll listen to a song by Jesus Culture. Keep sending your comments or questions on 22316 or WhatsApp on 0786 316 316. I don't know whether you know that song. It's playing on Family TV. You're also live on Family Radio, talking about building employee loyalty. This is for anybody who's employed, anyone seeking to start a business, or you're already a decision maker and you own your space and you employ a couple of people. So 22316 is the number to text with questions or comments, 0786 316 316 on WhatsApp. And right now there's somebody saying, well, yeah, I like when people come back. They used to watch the show, maisha ikakuwa tricky, then they come back. Pastor Wali, hi Pastor Wali, you're saying, hi Nyambura, awesome discussion with my sister. You're saying, I'm following the disloyalty we're experiencing at the market. Marketplace is a reflection of how the family fabric is torn apart. So there are no mannerisms in the family that have been set up, and yet charity begins at home. Let's go back to proper parenting. I'll be asking you your comment on that. Yeah. And also, Olaki from Ronga. Hi. You're saying, today, guess what? I am watching you live on Family TV. Have missed this moment. Was out of home for a while, but you're back home officially. And today, the topic will impact you a lot. Thank you, Olaki, for always watching. Take notes. So let me ask you, Mom. Sorry. Marianne, I'm so sorry. I'm so used to, every time I call you mom, I get an email from Priska Aroko. Stop calling guests mom. Sawa. Marianne.
Yes.
How do companies break the sense of loyalty from the millennials or from employees? How can companies interfere with that?
Thank you. One of the things that I know would do that is because, and let me use the millennials, like you keep reminding me.
Yes.
These are young people who sometimes have their own generational issues. But then they have gone into adulthood and they're in the office working with you.
Okay.
And I think one of the best things I've seen working is when you get to understand where they're coming from. True, they are in employment. They do have skills, and these young people have talent. The best you can do is harness all this goodness so that you benefit even as they benefit. So number one is to understand. Understanding becomes a very big aspect.
Yes.
But number two, which many people have a lot of impatience about.
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Very many people have no patience for the young people, especially those who are coming in now, fresh from colleges and all.
Yes.
Because number one, they have come with their own expectations, and then sometimes they have struggles adjusting to the culture of the institution. But understanding becomes a key aspect. If you don't have that, then you kill the spirit in these young people.
Okay.
But number two, there are issues of helping young people, helping the workers grow. The employee needs to feel that they are not only giving, but they're also getting back by virtue of growth, you know?
Yes.
Recently, I had one young person somewhere saying, you know, there's nothing as sad as giving so much as I'm giving to this company, but I don't see anything that they are giving me. I'm not growing in any way.
Okay.
How
Maybe
sad.
we need to define growth. What does growth look like in such a setting?
Growth would mean, for example, giving me better skills than what I already have.
Okay.
I need to learn new things, you know. There's a lot of learning that comes through orientation, for example, helping people to move from one department to another, because the other thing is that what kills the loyalty is when you do the wrong placement of workers.
Have you ever
And
walked
many
into an
young
office?
people
Yes.
are working in the wrong departments.
You walk into an office, you find a receptionist,
Yes.
and you're thinking, imagine you're not supposed to be here. Maybe if that
Oftentimes.
person was put in a finance office, she would prosper.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes you only a few seconds to see that.
Okay.
You know? So you realize that many people are working in the wrong departments. And the management does not take the time to see each of their workers. What are they giving? How best do they perform in different tasks? Because then you can decide this person, even though they're in this accounting office, they are probably best in the ICT department.
Okay.
I've seen a place where we have a young man who is so good in accounting, but his passion is not there.
Okay.
And guess what his passion is? Anything technology. So he does very well in the ICT department.
Okay.
Anybody needs something fixed, he comes running. And you know, it's so easy to tell that this is where he would perform at his peak.
Yes.
You know, you're not pushing them. So, and obviously, the other thing is that you don't give them opportunities through trainings, you know, trainings, workshops, exchange programs, giving them opportunities even to go back to school, to go back and take short courses. When you don't give them those chances, then they don't feel loyal. They feel there's really nothing much I'm getting from here.
Okay.
There are also issues where the working hours are so rigid. You find people working even weekends, holidays, you know, and it would only take a manager one moment to appreciate that I know we've worked even through the holidays. And I think it's time that you took a day off.
Well,
That
it comes
alone,
from them. Okay.
when it comes from the manager, I tell you, you get all the loyalty because you have brought yourself to their personal life.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. Many managers do not involve themselves with the personal lives of these people. I've seen places where one is asking for a sick off and they have to beg. And they're actually told, you can go see the doctor, but come back in the afternoon.
With a letter.
You know, with a letter. And you know, the person is already feeling, seriously?
Yes.
So you don't even believe that I'm feeling unwell? I wish you told me when you're coming back, you know, indefinite.
Yes.
Please come back with a
With a
medical
letter, yes.
letter for our filing.
Okay.
But when you tell me, okay, you can go, but I need a letter in the afternoon. So it means that you don't feel or you don't believe that I'm unwell. So
Okay.
that rigidity. The other thing is micromanaging. You know, I don't want to be rude or harsh, but when employees begin to feel like you're nosing them, you know,
Yes.
so that somebody goes to the washroom, takes a bit of, like 15 minutes, you're already making up the case. You've already sentenced them, you know? And have you stopped to think, could it be that they have a problem with their tummy?
Okay.
Could it be that they're sick? Could it be that they're actually crying in the washroom?
Do you know, I wanted to tell you,
You know?
bathrooms are so critical because sometimes you need a mental wellness
Yes,
moment.
yes.
Uende ukae ulie.
Ulie.
And then you comb your hair, or you straighten your tie and go back to your desk,
Yes.
and we are good. Yeah.
And actually, like for ladies, when, sometimes they'll just go take a break in terms of just going to that bathroom, you know, look themselves in the mirror, give themselves reassurance, re-energize themselves, you know, puff their faces,
yeah.
just do a little bit of makeup, come back feeling much better, and their peak performance goes upward. But when you keep micromanaging, then this person feels like they have to constantly defend themselves. They have to constantly look over their shoulders.
Yes.
Loyalty is almost zero.
Okay.
And they do not do what they do because they respect you or because they are loyal to you, but because they are fearing that you could fire them before their time for coming, I mean, for going, actually comes. Because they're actually looking for jobs. As you're looking over them, they're actually looking for jobs. And they'll go without
even
without a
letting you
word.
know.
Yes.
Let me tell you, there's a HR practitioner who came and said sometimes what people don't realize is that the employees are using your internet to look for jobs.
To look for jobs, absolutely, yes.
But I've read a couple of notes when you're answering that question. And what I'm hearing from you, one, is that loyalty is earned by trust.
Oh, yes.
I need to trust my employer.
Absolutely.
The employer needs to trust me.
Yes.
And when you say involve yourself in the personal lives of your employees, there's a statement that's made that throws me off. When people say leave your emotions at the door, what do you even mean? I can't, you know, do you want me rigid? Do you want me passionate? So the importance of trust, why does that need to be built first before we even get to loyalty?
Let me first even respond to what you've just said. Every employer needs to realize that they're not working with machines, but with people.
Okay.
These people have emotions. It doesn't matter how much you want them to work and work to the maximum, but these people move with emotions.
Yes.
I mean, you can't tell me that I have left a sick child at home, but you want me to come and work like all is well. Okay?
Yes.
I have just received a phone call, and you want me to pretend that it's okay, and I've just lost a loved one. And you know, I'll give you an example. Maybe it's just a neighbor, but this neighbor was family to me.
Okay.
Because this is the person I talk to the minute I go home.
Yes.
But you know, most employers will tell you, we're your neighbor. How do you know this person? I mean, this is not a relation of yours, but it could be worse. I mean, for me, losing that neighbor could be worse than any other person.
Okay.
So don't overlook the emotions of the people that work for you, because anything that comes to distract their minds keeps them off the job. So the most that you can do, and let me tell you, sometimes involving yourself in their personal lives doesn't take too much energy. Just a manager telling his employees, good morning.
And actually coming and saying good morning.
Just
Marianne.
that.
Okay.
Just that. Good morning. You know? Someone asking you, how are you doing today? That in itself creates a lot of respect, a lot of fondness, a lot of, you know, emotional attachment, even to the company. You want to protect it. Let me tell you, one time someone told us about a company he visited somewhere. And the first thing that shocked him is that at the gate, he found the security guy. And he said, I'd like to go to the CEO's office. And he said, I'm the CEO here. What? But I'd like to take you to the next boss.
That's somebody who's very happy.
You know?
Yeah.
So he goes to he takes him to the reception. And the receptionist there greets him very well. And then the guy asks, could I please see the CEO of this place? And she says with confidence, I am the CEO here, but I'll show you to the door.
Yes.
She takes the guy to the next office where the secretary is
Yes.
the first person that you meet, the PA. And the PA says, "Good morning, sir." "Good morning. May I see the CEO?" And she says, "I am the CEO, but I'll show you to the next door." And so by the time he got to the CEO's
Yes.
office, you know, he asked, the first question after the greetings was, "How many CEOs are in this company?"
Yes.
And the guy said, "Everyone is a CEO in their office."
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
How much do you think those people feel? They feel that they've been given leeway. They've been given some control. They've been given, which has not in any way whatsoever taken away the respect they have for the boss.
Yes.
And
I
that's
hear you.
something that people need to understand.
Okay.
That just because people refer or do things in a certain way that they overlook you, they still know that you remain the boss. But when you show them that you have trust in what they're doing, you give them some controls, you give them some leadership, positions that they can actually feel, then they'll be very loyal to you.
I
But you know,
like that.
sometimes you just have a title, you know?
You mentioned it off air. You just have a title.
You just have a title, but
Yeah.
you really don't even understand what that title is doing for you, you know? And
Yeah.
that can feel quite demeaning.
Okay.
It can be very demoralizing, and it can actually put you off even the work. And you say, "Well, I'm just like a sweeper, so let me just be."
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you're a manager at your desk, but you feel like a sweeper, then you can as well be sweeping the books and papers on you.
Oh my goodness.
On your desk.
Oh, we need to listen to music. Let me tell you, I like that. You might be a manager by title and a sweeper by heart.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a song by Elevation Worship. Keep asking your questions, and I'll ask Miriam the questions. You still have more time to go through this. It's not yet over. Sorry, I had to check because I'm always chatting with my guests off air, and she's telling me, "You didn't say hi to Pastor Wali. Pastor Wali umesalimiwa na
Hi,
Miriam."
Pastor Wali.
And I'd also like to appreciate a 4-year-old. Your name is Morris, and you watch this show every single day. What? Pressure. But thank you so much, and thank you to your mom, who's always tuned into the show. So there are a couple of comments, Miriam, that have come in for you. There's somebody saying, all there from Rongai, "Hi, Sally here, tuned in and enjoying the show." Thank you, Sally. Saying hi to all Rongai people. Njiro, I'm getting to your question just now. Somebody else saying, "Good evening. I'm so much encouraged by the topic. Loyalty is truly earned." Listening, imagine from West Pokot.
What?
My friend, you need responsibility.
This is good. This is good.
So this is Njiro's question from Dagoretti.
Yes.
And he's saying, "Hey guys, loving the show. I have a question. At the beginning of last year, I got a well-paying job with an international NGO. I later, at the end of the same year, got laid off due to dismal performance. I had a horrible sense of entitlement, hence I never gave it my all in the first place. Of course, I've learned my lesson and would never repeat the mistake. However, my question is, when I join the next job, how should I go about answering the question why I left my previous post? Should I be honest? Kindly help." I think first I need to appreciate you for saying you had a bad sense of entitlement.
Yes.
I think that's the first step to changing. But how does he answer that question when they ask, "So, why did you leave your former company?"
That was Njiro.
Njiro from Dagoretti.
Njiro from Dagoretti, thank you so much even for owning up to your mistake.
Yeah.
And it happens. It's one way towards growing, maturing. You mature in every area of your life. So I'd like to congratulate him on that. Now, how do you deal with the next job?
The next job when
Or
they
the
ask
next
the question.
interview when you get one. And I think the first thing is to be very wise in how you answer your question, because again, you don't want the person to get thinking that this sense of entitlement is the problem. That may not have been the problem actually.
Okay.
He may have had the problems that we were talking about earlier, probably placement.
Okay.
Problems.
Oh, the misplacement. Okay.
It could have been a mismatch of his skills. It could have been lack of vision at that young age. It could have been so many other factors.
Okay.
However, he says very well that he has learned his lesson. And I think that is between him and himself, you know?
Yes.
So how do you let the interviewer know that, yes, I left that job and I'm willing to take this one? First of all, is to acknowledge to them that you may have left it much faster than was anticipated or much faster than is the norm, not so much because of those ideas that he has about entitlement, but because he had a moment when he felt like the job was not giving him much.
Okay.
He wasn't able to give it his best because at that moment he probably didn't have enough skills.
Okay.
However, he now understands that he's not employed for a specific skill, but can use many other skills around the same task to bring out the best in it.
Okay.
And that way, you make someone convinced, because unless someone really has something behind it all, they'll understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
This is the first job. This is someone straight from college, now in a new job, or rather trying to get a new job. And yes, they could have had awkward moments in their previous job.
Yes.
Like I'm saying, mismatching, the mismatch, the misplacement, and those other things. But they are growing up. You can't deny someone a chance because they made that mistake once. And by the way, I would want to talk to anybody else who has probably been moving from one job to the other.
And you feel like your value is going down.
They feel like their value is going down. And I would want them to know that it's not over until it's over. They still have an opportunity. This is why we are here today, to make them learn that once you get to know your weakness, that like Njiro has, then you can work towards empowering yourself with various skills. And one of the skills is communication. Communication skill is so, you know, important at the workplace.
That's true.
Because you bring out what you're feeling. You're able to say, I'm probably not so good at this, and I would need a little bit of coaching. But if I'm placed in this other department, I can give it my best. That way, you're giving people an opportunity to learn you and also to give you a variance of opportunities.
Okay.
Otherwise, you just get stuck there. You know you're the best, but who knows that you're the best? Because you're not giving anyone, you know? So communication is very important.
Njiro, be encouraged. I actually love that answer, being wise about it.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
So you have about 2 minutes. Maybe we could share. I know.
Fast.
I wish it was a 3-hour show, but we're here.
It's okay.
Maybe to the decision makers, to the people who've employed, this is from SMEs to the big corporates. What are we telling them in regards to building that trust, from that loyalty from employees, also trust as well? Maybe just 2-3 things that they can work on.
Be a part of your employers' lives. Don't just live in your own floor. Employees' lives.
They said employer.
Yes. In your employees' lives. Be a part of it.
Okay.
You don't necessarily need to dig too deep, but interest yourself in a few things about your employees.
Okay.
You know, study them to see what they are going through. Number 2, build their skills, build their capacity. You know, take them for trainings, invest in them. Because when you invest in them, they feel obliged. They feel that they owe you something. But when you're just there, that even a little bit of study, you know, even a short course, they have to struggle and, you know, get ways of going around it. I mean, give them opportunities. Give them opportunities to represent you, even in other institutions, meetings and whatever. It builds their confidence.
Okay.
They own the company, because what you would have gone to talk about your company in the other place is what they are now going to do. So you're giving them opportunities to take some control, to have some entitlement of some sort, and they feel like those people who are saying, I am the CEO in my office. You know, it means a lot to the employees. Then number 3, you also need to let them be. Let your employees be. Let them give what they have. Let them move from one place to the other, growing with the company. And I'd like to talk about, sometimes companies may not have the vertical promotion, the vertical growth rather. But horizontally, you can look for other ways of building their esteem by giving them leadership. Teams, you can give them teams. You can. I remember a place where I was working, where I earlier told you about. So that was the kind of, because it was church-based. So the vertical was
vertical. You already have.
I mean, it was already at the apex. So how do you make these other people grow? So we came up with, officers. We came up with team leaders. And I remember at that time I was personally raised to a team leader. And that's the farthest I could go at that point, but it meant a lot. It meant that I was somewhere. And it builds your confidence, your loyalty. I stayed there for 7 years before I left to my current. And I would still go. I mean, I still have a lot of respect for that organization. And I visit, and, I have a relationship with those people. But not where an employee works and they're wishing their leg is outside. And when they go, they'll never look back. Panteni.
We have to wrap this up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Always appreciated. I love talking to you every time you're here. Okay, first of all, I've laughed a lot. I have learned a lot. Hope you have as well. Thank you for always tuning in. And I think for the employees, hope you've learned something. Employers, just see how you can improve this. And I'm glad we have this discussion. Thank you for watching. My name is Medrin Nyambura. Kesho.